Focused, Chapter 3. The next morning, Mom shakes me awake. Clea! She sounds scared. How are you not up yet? It's 7:15. We have to leave right now. No, I shout and jump out of bed. School starts in a half hour. There are piles of books and papers covering the floor. I was supposed to wake up early and go over my presentation again. I don't understand why this is so difficult. You got up on time yesterday and last week. She shakes her head. What happened to your alarm? I pick up my phone and open the clock because I'm afraid Mom is right. I'm afraid that maybe Mom is right and I didn't even set it. But it's worse. My alarm's on and ready to wake me up at 6:15 p.m. Before I have a chance to explain, she says, I'm taking your sister to school and then I'm coming back to get you. Please be downstairs in 10 minutes. I can't be late. I have an appointment with a student this morning. She walks out of my room and the bracelets stacked all the way up her arm jangle together, ringing in my ears. I run into the bathroom, turn on the shower, and let the warm water wash over me. It helps a little. I get dressed and pack my bag as fast as I can, checking to make sure I have everything that's due today, including the poster for my presentation. The air outside is cooler than I want it to be. The morning sun finds its way through the layers of clouds and pine trees, but it's not as strong as it was even a few weeks ago, when a tiny glimmer felt like a warm, cozy blanket. I should have grabbed a jacket on my way out and think my sneakers from last year are too small because they keep rubbing against my heel, but it's too late to go back to the house and start over. It's a 6-minute ride to school, which is exactly enough time to review my project. But I don't want Mom to ask questions, so instead I stare out the window watching the houses and trees go by. What happened? Mom asks, turning down the radio so voices sound like they're buzzing and humming somewhere far away. I shrug because I want to pretend I set my alarm for the right time. Tell me something, she says, trying again. I messed up, okay? My words come out a little too loud. There's no reason to raise your voice. All I want to do is help you. I'm sorry, I say, because it's not her fault that I need to do everything better. Mom reaches out to me without taking her eyes off the road. I move my hand closer to her so she can wrap her fingers around mine. Her skin is soft and warm and she holds on like she's going to protect me. You're okay, she says. You made a mistake. It happens to everyone. Let's just move on. Okay, I say, like it's that easy. When I get out of the car, the bell rings. I walk quickly down the path and straight through the courtyard into school. I can't be late for English. When I get to Mr. Lee's room, I'm winded and my heart is racing. It seems like everyone else is relaxed and ready to go. I sit in the front and try to stop replaying all the things I did wrong so far today because I need to be in my best in school and chess. I can't mess up anymore. I take a long, deep breath to calm myself down and immediately realize I forgot deodorant. I check the front pocket of my bag to make sure my secret stash is there. It is. Whew! I just have to get through the rest of class before I can go to the bathroom with my backpack. When Mr. Lee walks into the room, I raise my hand. Can I present first? I ask as soon as he calls on me. Absolutely, come on up. I unroll my timeline, which includes every single thing anyone could ever want to know about S.E. Hinton. I take a deep breath. I can do this. Susan Eloise Hinton was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma on July 22nd, 1948, which makes her astrological sign Cancer. I added that part in for pizzazz. Her first novel, The Outsiders, was published in 1967 by Viking when she was only 17 years old. She decided to go to S.E. instead of Susan Eloise because the narrator of the book is a boy. She decided to go by, S.E. instead of Susan Eloise because the narrator of the book is a boy. I'm feeling confident and prepared the whole time I'm presenting. And when I get to the end, I know I did a great job in making my oral biography informative and relatable. Quinn raises her hand. She's sitting in the second row next to Vivi, looking super fancy and wearing a lot of makeup. Like she's trying really hard to remind everyone she's still important, even though she's not the most popular girl in our grade anymore. She hasn't been ever since Vivi moved here last year from Brazil. Quinn acts like she's okay being second in command, but she used to be way more casual and nice before Vivi. I wasn't expecting questions, but I feel prepared to answer basically anything, so I call on her. Why'd you pick S.E. Hinton? She twirls the end of her long, blonde ponytail. I think it's awesome she wrote such a successful novel at a young age. But we're not reading her book in class, so you did it wrong. The Outsiders was on the free reading list, Quinn smirks. Vivi covers her mouth, acting like she's trying not to laugh. Clea, Mr. Lee says, let's talk more after class. His voice is soft, but really everyone in the room knows I'm in trouble, which means that pretty soon the entire grade will too. Because, hello, that's how things work. I grab my poster and sit down as fast as I can, wishing I could melt into my chair like a stick of butter. When the bell rings, I stay where I am and stare at the floor. We only got halfway through the presentation today, which means if I had waited instead of volunteering to go first like an idiot, I would have had time to redo my entire project before Mr. Lee and everyone else found out I did it wrong. Mr. Lee sits down next to me. His secret t-shirt today says Wicked. I can tell how much time and effort you put into your work. He points to my poster. You gave it your all. I look up at him because it seems like maybe whatever he's about to say isn't going to be that bad. But you didn't follow directions, and that's a big problem. I swallow hard. Unfortunately, I have to give you an F. No, this isn't happening. I can't fail. Since this is the first big assignment of the year, I'm going to let you present a different author on Friday. I'll give you a new grade and deduct a letter. He opens up the reading list and underlines a sentence at the top of the page that says, here's a list of books we'll be reading and discussing in class this year. Okay, thank you, I say, because even though the last thing I want is to get back up and try again in front of everyone, it's the only way I won't get an F. After school, I go straight to the multi-purpose room for chess. We're practicing with the 6th grade team today. Mr. Lee starts by teaching a new strategy, and then he splits us into 2 groups for a few rounds of human chess. I'm standing on the life-size board, dressed up as one of the white knights. There aren't enough players for a full set, so we're using big plastic pieces in place of pawns. Everyone else is positioned on the giant green and white squares, playing the back rack, except for Sanam and Red, who are on the sidelines because they're the team captains. Sanam's playing black and Red is white. The air in the room is stale and sticky. It smells like rubber. I adjust my itchy paper helmet without taking it off my head, because that's against the rules, and I can't get eliminated for failing to follow simple directions. I need to do everything possible to stay in the game and prove that I'm good. The first 2 rounds go by fast. I move when I'm told, and I don't mess anything up. But I'm too distracted by my costume to call out ideas and help us win. We only have 1 round left, and I need to stop rubbing my forehead and focus on the game, because I know I'm only making the itchiness worse, but it's impossible to think about anything other than how uncomfortable my skin feels and how much I want to scratch. C6, Sanam says, because she wants her pawn to move ahead 1 square. Every square has coordinates. The columns, called files, are labeled A through H, and the rows, called ranks, are labeled 1 through 8. Quinn follows Sanam's directions and moves the pawn in front of her forward 1 square. She rolls her eyes so hard, like she wants everyone on both teams to know she thinks Sanam's move is weak, and she's not impressed. I think Quinn is jealous of Sanam and everyone who's good at chess, because at the beginning of last year, Quinn was the best player on our team. By the end, she wasn't even in the top 12. She was only an alternate. Not that there's anything wrong with being an alternate. I'd love to be in that position, but I'd be pretty mad if the rest of the team kept getting better, and I was the same. It's the white team's turn, and Red hasn't said anything. Every few seconds he pushes his copper hair out of his eyes and walks along the edge of the board. Since anyone on the team is allowed to help, I look around, turning in every direction, trying to figure out the best way to win. Because I want to prove I'm ready to compete in the next tournament and be someone who matters to the team. The game's a lot different from this angle, which I know is the point. It takes me time to adjust, but once I do, I start to see patterns in the pieces. There's a rush of energy that flows through me, taking over my body. The cardboard helmet doesn't feel that bad anymore. I almost forget it's there. I'm focused on finding the answer. I can't shift gears or think about anything other than what's happening on the board until I got it. I know how to win. Red, I shout, move me. You have to move me to G5. Wrong answer, Dylan says. He's standing a few squares away, dressed as a white king, making an X with his arms. I'm right, I say, because I'm 100% sure. Red looks at me and then at the board, like he's trying to see what I see without asking questions that might give away my strategy. Dude, move the queen to H7, it's the only option. Dylan acts like he's better than everyone because his older brother's a candidate master, which means he's good and almost a master, even though that actually has nothing to do with Dylan. Red nods. Yeah, it works, he says, like he's going to listen to Dylan and not me, even though I'm right. No, it doesn't. I try to keep my voice down, but it still sounds so loud compared to everyone else's. How would you know? Dylan looks at me like I'm gum stuck to the bottom of a brand new sneaker. It's not like you've ever played an attorney. His words cut into me. I bite down on my lip because he's wrong about the next move and me. Everything I'm feeling is bubbling up. KG5 is just dumb like you, he says. Actually, it's how you win. KG5. Then QH7, checkmate. The words fly out of my mouth, bouncing off the gym walls and back at me, before I can think about what I'm doing and stop myself. Wow, Quinn says. Way to freak out and ruin the game. Everyone laughs. That's enough, Mr. Lee says. I expect all of you to be supportive of one another, even when you're playing on opposite sides of the board. He pauses and looks at me. Strong chess players need to stay calm and composed. I'd like you to work on that. I want to tell him I didn't mean to blurt out the answer. I don't know what happened, but I'm afraid if I say anything right now, I'll cry, and I can't. So I look down at the floor. I need to never do anything like that ever again. Okay, let's continue where we left off, Mr. Lee says. Red, it's still your move, and it's probably best not to go with the KG5QH7. I keep my head down and stare at my sneakers, wishing I had the power to make myself disappear. QH7, Red says. Boom in your face, Dylan says in this cool guy way, like he could be talking to anyone, but I know he's talking to me. I don't look up at him or say anything. I'm frozen. It only takes Santam a few moves to beat us. When the match is finally over, Mr. Lee says, please come to practice tomorrow focused and ready to play your best. Everyone puts away their props as fast as possible and races out of the room. Like the awkwardness permeating the air is actually toxic. Quinn scurries by me and over to Vivi, who's waiting for her by the door, leaning against the wall in her field hockey gear. Her lips are perfectly glossed, and her black ponytail falls down her back in a never-ending maze of shiny tendrils. Quinn whispers something in Vivi's ear, but she doesn't take her eyes off me. Like she wants to make it clear that they're talking about how I ruined the game. Everyone is. I take off my helmet, drop it in the basket with the other costumes, and turn around. Red is standing by the water fountain waiting for me. I walk over to him. That was really bad. I don't know what happened. I look at him like maybe he has the answer. You're the only one who knew how to win, he says, trying as hard as he can to make what I did okay. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you. You were right. I couldn't see the next move until you said it. I shake my head because he shouldn't be sorry. It's not Red's fault I blurted out the answer and gave away the game. You say whatever pops into your head. That's your thing. Don't worry. It'll blow over. Chess or English? Both. He looks away like he's sorry he knows what happened in class. Who told you, I ask, even though I'm pretty sure I already know the answer. Dylan, he says. I hate Dylan, but I don't say that because Red doesn't. They're friends. Did you really do the entire project wrong? Pretty much, I nod. I'm so dumb. Don't talk about my best friend like that, he says. It's not cool. You made a mistake that doesn't make you stupid. Yeah, sure. At least Mr. Lee is letting me redo the assignment on Friday, aka not giving me an F. Whew, you'll do an awesome job. And then you'll crush everyone in chess, and no one will remember today ever happened. It won't matter. Do you have a backup plan in case that doesn't work, I ask. Obviously, I'm all over it, he says. I'll embarrass myself and give them something else to talk about. And how exactly are you going to do that, I ask. I hadn't gotten that far, he says, but we won't need a backup plan. It'll be okay, I promise. You can do it. I want to believe him. Red's mom drives me home from school on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. When I walk through the front door, Hilda starts barking. Clea, Mom says, can you please come in here? I follow Mom's voice into the living room. She's sitting next to Dad on the fancy embroidered sofa that no one ever uses. They're both stiff and buttoned up in their work clothes, which is not normal or good for me. Dad definitely shouldn't be home right now. I think about turning around and bolting out the door, but I know that will only delay whatever is about to happen. I sink into the blue velvet chair across from my parents. They're looking at me like they're waiting for me to speak. For once, I don't have anything to say. Henley runs into the living room and grabs onto my arm. I can tell she wants to show me something. Henley, honey, Dad and I need to talk to Clea alone for a few minutes. How many's a few? Henley asks. I'll let you know when we're finished. Henley looks at me, her forehead scrunching up. It's okay, I whisper, because I don't want her to worry. She hugs my arm and dashes out of the room. Mom takes a deep breath. Dad and I met with Miss Curtis this afternoon. She's the middle school learning specialist. I know who Miss Curtis is, but I don't say that or anything. Over the past week, a few of your teachers have expressed concerns about how you're doing in school this year, and I know what happened with the author project sounds bad and like a really big deal because I got an F for now, but I swear it's not. I made one stupid mistake with the directions and the grade isn't permanent. I'm redoing the presentation on Friday and I already picked a new author. I'm going to fix the whole thing. It is a big deal, Mom sounds mad. You did the assignment wrong. We've talked about it. You need to read the instructions carefully and pay attention to what's being asked of you so you don't make any careless mistakes. This is what you were working on with Chloe Louise this summer. I hate how she explains what happened, like I don't already know all the things I did wrong. I know, I shout. I didn't mean to mess up. I won't do it again, okay? Mom sighs and looks at Dad like she's had enough. We know you didn't, Clea, Dad says, but at this point, we need to get to the bottom of what's going on in school and come up with a plan to help you. Based on the problems you've been having finishing your assignments and following directions and speaking out of turn, how's that related? Oh, wait, it's not. Please stop interrupting us, Dad said. Stop being wrong, I say back, because it feels like they're rewriting everything that happened to me to make it matter more than it does. Then Dad tells me, your teachers think it's important that we have you evaluated for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. ADHD? You can't be serious, right? Now I keep keep waiting for them to smile or laugh or do something to show that they're just joking. But they just sit there and staring at me like they're totally serious. This is what your school's recommending, and we're taking their guidance, Dad says. You're going to have an assessment, which means that Miss Curtis will attend some of your classes tomorrow, and once we get an appointment, you'll be out 2 or 3 days for testing. I can't miss 3 days. I'll get so far behind, and I'm definitely not skipping chess. No way. That is not happening. I need to be at practice. It's important. I actually have a chance to play in the next tournament. I really don't think Mr. Lee is going to penalize you for not being at chess when you'll be out for tests that the school suggested, Mom says. You don't know that, I say back. We understand how much you love chess, Mom says, but it can't get in the way of school. It's not. No, just know I don't have ADHD. I can sit in my chair. I can focus. During chess, for example, I'm super focused. I'm like a focus machine. Not everyone with ADHD is hyperactive, Mom said. I roll my eyes. That literally makes no sense. It's complicated, which is why we want to make sure we have the right information. So this is happening, even if I say no. Mom and Dad both nod. Can you schedule the test on Thursday and Friday so I don't miss chess? We'll see, Mom says. It's not so easy to get an appointment, and we're doing everything we can to make this happen as soon as possible. Chess is the only thing I'm actually good at. I don't get why you're trying to take it away from me. Mom shakes her head. We're not. We're trying to fix what's happening at school. I keep messing up. That's what happened. That's what's happening. It doesn't matter what you do. You can't fix that. I just need to work harder. Mom looks at me like she doesn't know what to say. We really think you need this, Clea, Dad says. Just don't blame me when it turns out I don't have ADHD. And I got even further behind and missed chess for nothing. I stomp upstairs to my room and slam the door. Then I take out my phone and call Red over and over until he finally answers. Are you okay? He asks as soon as he picks up. Not really. My voice is shaky. I'm going to be out of school in chess for 2 or 3, maybe 3 days because my parents are making me get tested for ADHD. You can't. Mr. Lee hates when people don't show up for practice. If one person isn't there, he has to play. My parents don't care about chess, I say. All they want to do is come up with a stupid plan that's not going to fix anything. I'm sorry, he says. You obviously don't have ADHD. I think they basically test everyone who gets bad grades for now. It's like a thing or whatever, but I don't know how. Maybe a plan could be good. It might help. You can get extra time on tests and other stuff that would make school easier.